Is the Tampa housing market tanking? That's what this video will cover. And we're going to do a deep dive on the most recent data so you know what all of the housing market numbers are. People can lie, but the numbers cannot lie. So we will stick to the numbers. And from there, you can make the best decisions for yourself, for your family, and for your financial bottom line. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. And I'm not going to edit this video in an effort to get this to you as quickly as humanly possible. But let's look at the Tampa, St. Petersburg / Clearwater area. That is the metro, right? And you can see on this map here exactly where that covers. So to be clear, this is the opposite side of the state. I am on the southeast side, and this is the west side of Florida. So Tampa, Clearwater, St. Petersburg, this is the 5,000-foot overview, and the numbers speak for themselves. So closed sales are down 37%. Median sales price is up 8.8% from a year ago. Now, if you've been watching my recent content, you know that I've talked about the fact that the median sales price is a misleading number because the average sales price is far more accurate. The median sales price is literally taking the middle of the market, and the average sales price is exactly that. Everything added up and divided by the number of sales. So it's far more accurate, far more instructive. And I don't typically like the fact that they lead with the median sales price. But more data will reveal what the actual trend is. And in some of my previous content, you might notice that the median sales price is on the uptick, while the average sales price is actually down significantly. So let's see if that holds true. Stay with me. Active inventory is up 153% to 8333. New listings down 25%. Again, this is December, so seasonality may play a role in the fact that people don't want to list their homes during the holiday season, but that number or that metric won't be confirmed until February because this is all lagging data. This is all lagging indicators. The real estate market data is not. Well, somebody's calling me, and I unfortunately cannot take that phone call right now because I'm focused on you. But nonetheless, we won't know what the January numbers are until mid-February, but I will keep you posted so that you know, and let's keep on trucking here. So dollar volume's down 31%, and that makes sense because there were less sales. Okay, so from here, let's go granular. Let's look to see what the other data is that we must know. So let's stop that screen share. Let's add in the real data. Boom, here we go. Okay, hopefully this is very visible on your end. And if it's not, well, I apologize. So here we go. We're talking about Hernando, Pasco, Hillsborough, and Pinellas counties. And you can see where that is on the map of Florida, whereas I'm over here somewhere. And that's okay because I can share this data with you so that you can go out there and make the best decisions. But also keep in mind, I do business and I run a high performance team on the southeast coast. So Broward, Palm Beach County, primarily southeast Palm Beach County, South Palm Beach County. I do venture into Broward sometimes, but as it becomes geographically less desirable, I typically will have all-star agents that can serve and support my clients at the highest level. So no matter where you're at, I always have someone that I can refer you to. And if you are thinking of buying or selling anywhere, I 100% have vetted someone in your hyper-local market that can go out there and negotiate so that you get the best deal possible and get the most money if you're thinking about selling. And that is critical. You must work with a professional who absolutely knows the market cold, knows the hyper-local inventory, knows what the temperature of the market is. Because if you don't have that information, well, then you're never going to get what you want. So this is Tampa, St. Petersburg, and Clearwater. Closed sales down 37%. I rounded that up, but 36.9 to be exact. Cash sales, 768 down 47%. Median sales price, well, this is actually helpful. And if you saw my last video talking about the Cape Coral area, median sales price was up 1%, average sales price was down 10%. Not the case here. So average sales price up almost the exact same as the median sales price in terms of percent, but in terms of dollar amount, it's a big difference. It's almost $100,000 more. Nonetheless, it is helpful. 484, 839 is the average sales price in December 2022. Dollar volume is down significantly, which makes sense. There are less sales. And median percent of original list price received, 95%, down 4% from 100%. Time to contract. Well, this trend is continuing to repeat itself. It's continuing to be similar in almost every market. It takes longer for a time. Can't speak. It takes longer to go under contract. It takes longer for your home to sell, period. And there's a lot more inventory, a lot more competition, a lot more homes for sale in almost every metro area. Again, that can change radically depending on where you're shopping within the micro markets that exist in these metro areas. But this is what the numbers are for the metro, right? So pending sales are down 27%, new listings down 25%, pending inventory down 27%, active inventory, big increase, up 153%, 8330 active listings for sale. I think that might be too big. All right, there we go. Month supply jumped from less than a month to 2.2 months. Keep in mind, we're still talking about December, so this is old data. This is very likely increased. That will be confirmed in February, but take it as a rule these days that inventory is increasing and demand is decreasing. And that is great if you're thinking about buying, and it's probably not so great if you're thinking about selling. Closed sales down 37%, and it gives you some granularity. Cash sales down 47%. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on this. I want this to be as brief and valuable as possible, but I want you to know what it is because it is obviously instructive. So about 25% of all the closings were done in cash. And that trend seems to be a pattern which exists here in every market that I cover. It's around 25%, ballpark figure. Don't nail me to the cross and hold me to it, but that seems to be what the number is. All right. And that makes sense, right? Depending on price point, depending on market, who wants to take a higher interest rate if they've got the cash in which they can pay for a home and not have to worry about paying a higher interest rate. And anybody who tells you to marry the house, date the rate, please fire them, because interest rates are most likely, in my opinion, I know they've gone down. I suspect that trend is they are going significantly higher. And yes, you can get lucky, and yes, you can refinance. But if you're banking on that and you're putting yourself in a position to be in financial pain and make yourself house poor to do it, then don't do it. It doesn't make sense, because you may get lucky, but I would rather be prudent, responsible, and not have anybody be house poor. All right, median sales price. Again, we covered this already. This is a more broken down or more granular detail of that. But again, it's up almost 9% to 394, which is not the average sales price. The average sales price is actually higher at 484 and change, up almost 9%. Okay. Dollar volume is down. That speaks for itself. That makes sense. It's 1.5 billion, and let's keep trucking. Median percent of original list price. I covered this too. It's just more granular of a breakdown. It's 95%. Time to contract. It's taking longer to go under contract, 29 days. And that is a massive percent change year over year. Again, relative to a normal pre-pandemic market, 30 days to go under contract is not a big deal. But if you were banking on it happening in a day or an hour or a week, well, that has obviously changed. So it takes longer to go under contract, and it takes longer for the closing. It takes longer to sell. And that has jumped by 48% to 71 days. All right, new pending sales down 27%. And you can see let's see here. May to February or January, you can see it's right around 4,000. In some cases, a plus or minus, but that's cut in half almost to 2,656. And that is not shocking. That is the trend that I've been talking about. And that is playing out in almost every market that I cover. Same with new listings, down 25% in December. A lot of that, again, I think is due to seasonality, yet to be confirmed. We shall see. January numbers will be out in February, which I will continue to keep you posted on. Inventory, active listings, meaning the competition. If you're selling, it's the competition. If you're buying, it's your other choices. And that has increased 153%. There are a lot more homes that are sitting on the market, as evidenced by this chart here, which you can see. Month supply, 2.2 months, up 214%. That was down at as low at one point in March when interest rates were a lot lower at 0.6 months. In some cases, in my market, that was hours, days. It's now in Tampa, St. Pete, and Clearwater, it's 2.2 months, which is a seller's market. But as you can see, that is going to continue, I suspect, to increase, and there's going to be more months supply, which again, seller's market now trending to neutral, will be a buyer's market, and it is what it is. From the overall market outlook, hyper locally in different markets, that's going to be very different. And that's why it's important to work with somebody who knows that market, which we can connect you with if that's something that's helpful. Closed sales by price. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time here. You can read. I don't want to insult your intelligence. You can see the price brackets. You can see the number of closed sales and the percentage change year over year. But it looks to be about 128 closed sales north of $1 million, which is down 36% year over year. It is what it is. Time to contract. Well, you can see this is taking longer. You can see it broken down by price point, and it speaks for itself. New listings by initial listing price. This also speaks for itself, broken down by price bracket and the number of new listings and percentage change year over year. Interesting that the big increase here is in the million plus initial listing price bracket, which we don't have a pattern yet. We shall see, but that is interesting to take note of, especially if that's the price point that you're shopping in. You definitely want to know that, and separately and equally and oppositely, you want to know that if you're selling too. All right, inventory by current listing price. All of them, with the exception of the lower price points, have increased exponentially, and you can see what they are broken down by price bracket. But in the 400 to 600, or just under 600, up to 26%. 600 to just under $1 million, up 174%. $1 million plus, up 105%. Noteworthy. And then finally, the grand finale here is the distressed market, which is basically non-existent throughout the state of Florida, as evidenced by the fact there are only 10 foreclosures, 2 short sales, and that is a decrease in both sections, or in both of those, in both brackets, down 28% in foreclosures and down 75% in short sales. And as I've mentioned in each of these other videos, this distressed housing market dynamic just really doesn't exist. The truth is, if someone stops paying their mortgage right now, it's going to take a long time for them to actually be foreclosed on. And more likely is they have a lot of equity. They'll sell the house. And the thing that you want to be aware of if you're thinking about selling, and the financial pain or what you may forecast for your future, depending on what's happening in your life, which I don't know, only you do. But if you see the writing on the wall, just know that other people are feeling that pain too. And if everybody decides that they're going to exit the market at the same time, well, then you've got the catch a falling knife game, which nobody wants to be a part of if they're thinking about selling and tapping into their equity. So you want to be in front of that. From a buyer perspective, well, that's great. You obviously want more homes. You want more distressed inventory. You want weakness in the market. You want lots of options. You want to be able to negotiate a great deal. And if there are foreclosures and there are short sales, well, then you're going to probably have way more leverage than you would in any other circumstance. But nonetheless, the breakdown is 3,021 traditional sales in December 2022, 10 foreclosures, and 2 short sales. And that wraps this particular metro up. I hope you found this content valuable. If you did, subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, share it with a friend. Keep your eyes peeled for my next video because I suspect you're going to love it a lot. And also know I read your comments. So I am going to include more housing market data broken down by metro in the future. Don't miss out on it. And until next time, peace.